Run.
You see a red flag and you're out. You know
One
what I'm
red
saying?
flag.
It don't take much.
I'm Forrest Gump running.
She would always say, "Enjoy the season." Mama didn't say that this time. I'm triggered.
So the first sign I feel like you playing around. I'm like, I got to go. I don't have any red flags. So
You lying?
I don't have. I'm perfect.
No. No. Everybody has a red flag of some sort, and I think it's about capacity.
I think because I'm a creative,
Yeah.
because I'm using whatever side of the brain that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will start to formulate stories in my mind when you give me too much space. Some people need space to figure stuff out. Don't give me too much space to figure stuff out, because I have created a whole. You ready?
Let's go.
Okay, so tough conversation. Gonna be a little hard today. Might be a little heavy, but we're gonna have it. We're gonna be all right. So I'm gonna ask you a question straight up. Have you ever been triggered?
Yeah, straight up. Like, I'm triggered now. I'm praying about my triggers as we speak. I'm
triggered every day.
I'm triggered every day.
So tell me about it. What's something that triggers you?
You want like vulnerability, bro?
Yeah, I mean, we're both gonna be vulnerable. We got it. We can have it.
I'm gonna start high and work my way back. I'm gonna start high and work my way back. Can I be real? Like, too much of a good thing is triggering me.
Yeah, so you gotta give us more than that. You gotta dig into that.
I believe everything in moderation is cool.
Yeah.
But me, right? Robert has made choices in his life that have yielded some really crazy results. I ain't gonna say bad, but I'll just say crazy results, right? And now, there's a particular level of normalcy. And it's not bad. And I'm still triggered. My mom used to tell me all the time because, like, she just knew, something about that boy.
Mamas know.
She would always say, "Enjoy the season." Mama didn't say that this time. I'm triggered.
What did mama say?
She just said, I think you're in a good situation. Oh. Just in where I'm at in life. Like where I'm at occupationally, where I'm at personally, where I'm at.
But what did she say?
You're okay. She ain't never told me I was okay.
It's got you now.
It's got me nervous.
Got you looking like, oh.
The funny thing is when she would say enjoy the season, I was like, yeah, I got this. You know what I'm saying? I'm floating. I'm good.
Yeah.
So for real, like all jokes aside, like being in a good space for me right now is triggering because even though saying enjoy the season hasn't been said yet, there's a huge level of fear of I don't know how long this is going to last.
I was about to ask you, are you triggered? Or is it triggering because it's really good, or is it triggering because you're waiting for it to end?
Yeah, that's really what it is, bro. And
that happens a lot.
I had to joke about it to get there, but for real, like I remember I told you the little bit I have means so much. And because it means so much, I'm doing everything I can to hold on to good things in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing everything I can to be a good friend to you. I'm trying to stay committed to my, to things that are in my life. You know what I mean? And because literally, I want the things. I want the relationships. I want the connections. I want the community to stay. I don't want to lose nothing else. You know what I mean?
Where I'm at is, if I'm being honest, small things can trigger me.
Yeah.
And I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm healing through it. I'm in counseling with it. I deal with it. I self counsel. I do all that. I'm talking about, and I'll give you and it's small, but it's so big for me.
Yeah.
Inconsistency triggers me.
Yeah.
I've talked to you about that before, and you were just looking. I was like, I'm serious, man. If you start one way and then all of a sudden you switch up on me, that is hard. That's hard for me. Or you disappearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Disappearing for 4 or 5 hours, and
So you don't like being left on red.
Oh Jesus, don't do it.
You don't like being left on red.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You don't like being left on delivery.
Because here's my thing. Because I'm a creative.
Yeah.
Because I'm using whatever side of the brain that is.
Yeah.
I will start to formulate stories in my mind when you give me too much space. Some people need space to figure stuff out. Don't give me too much space to figure stuff out, because I have created a whole novel in my head in the time that you just disappeared, and I don't like it. I don't give that energy, so it's triggering for me when because I know what I present to people and what I give, and especially even relationship, what I give and who I am.
Yeah.
It's triggering when somebody can see all of that and still make a decision to play games.
Yeah.
And it's just like I can't do it. And so the first sign I feel like you playing around, I'm like I got to go. I can't do it. You called me out on this the other day. You said, hey, you got to stop running just because you see one. How many red flags do I need to see before I run? Because you made it sound like I'm running too quick. So how many?
You see one and you run.
Forrest Gump run.
You see a red flag and you're out. You know
one red flag.
It don't take much.
I'm Forrest Gump running.
But remember, we talked about it. Like at this stage in our lives, at 35 years old, and I'm going on 56. Everybody has a red flag.
Yeah.
There is no flawless person. There is no perfect person. Like everybody's gonna have a red flag of some sort. And so,
I don't have red flags. I don't have.
You lying?
I don't have. I'm perfect.
No. No. Everybody has a red flag of some sort, and I think it's about capacity. Mm-hmm. Do you have the capacity to learn how they got there, and if how they got there is manageable for you going forward? Yeah. You remember I said, they'll forget your name, but they'll remember what you did. Mm-hmm. And so in that being the case, do you have a capacity to say not only, what did you do, but how did you get there? Because the how could be, could help us get to how we don't do it again.
Yeah.
How is important.
Yeah, how is extremely important.
Yeah.
What I try and do now is, we talked about this many times. Yeah. I try and be more vocal about the things that I know, hey, we got to work on this. And that's a big, communication is huge for me. But I try and go ahead and communicate like, hey, that what you just did, that is something that will cause a ripple effect of great proportions. And so I need us to not do it. I need us to figure it out. I need us to move in a different way. And so I've said it before on the podcast. I appreciate the growth that I have to now address things before I just run, before I just take off in a Forrest Gump run. I try to address it and say, hey, that right there, that triggered me. That reminded me too much of what hurt me.
And so the truth of the matter is not having the capacity is the problem. Because I think a person that's triggered can still try. I think you say it the best. You say, you'll never know if you're healed unless you try to work the muscle. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think when you're triggered, you can still try, but you have to assess your capacity to in terms of what you can handle and what you can endure.
Try after therapy now. You got to after you got to get it some time. Yeah. I'm not talking about you broke your leg and the next day you get up to walk. No. Yeah. You need to sit down for a little while.
Yeah.
You need to sit down for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm hungry, y'all. Excuse me.
You came early, got some food.
Some of us didn't have a good meal.
I eat good every night.
No, must be nice. Must be nice. Yeah. Must be nice. I mean the Pop-Tart for dinner.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying you break that leg or you get hurt by a person, you jump right back out there. You go, because that's what happened to a lot of people, and that's why we got so many jacked up relationships. You jumping from one relationship to the next one, from one bed to the next bed, from one man, from one woman to the. You're not giving yourself enough time. Heal, but then when you're healing, don't be scared to get out there and try it again.
So go back to what you just said, because when you're jumping from one thing to the next without rectifying the trauma or the trigger, all you're doing is adding more triggers to your life. You're adding more buttons that are easily pushed.
It's the same way with an injury.
Yeah.
If you have not let that injury properly heal, they're going to tell you how much you can get out there and now do.
Yeah.
If you haven't let it properly heal and you get out there and try and play a basketball game on a ACL tear, without it going through correct therapy, you're going to tear something else. You're going to make it worse. You're going to add more to it. You've got to give it time to heal, and then give it time to do the therapy, and then slowly integrate yourself back into what you love to do.
So how many times have we not let the heart heal and that affect our brain? Because this is the piece. We talked about when you don't let an injury heal, it can only withstand so much. But when you don't let a thing heal, it starts to affect other places. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And so I don't want my mind I don't want to fight with my mind anymore. You know what I mean? And so you were talking earlier today about communication. I'm at a spot now, I tell you my triggers up front. Seriously. Like I have to tell you those, like something light, right? Triggered. Had a situation a long time ago, man, where, it was a disagreement over fast food. And to this day, I get anxiety when I'm asked to order food at the drive-in. But the thing, and
this is a real story. I've heard him.
Yes, this is a real thing. I've heard him. I do not like to order food.
He gets real anxious. I don't know what it is.
She know. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like to this day, it really. But I also say now in relationship, like if can we just not talk? Like, can you just come up with the food? I don't care what it is. I don't care where we go. I don't care what we get. Can you just handle the food? Because I am so, and this is the thing, you know, and if you decide to deal with me, you know, that's an example to say, do you have the capacity just to take on the food, or do you have the capacity to take on the thing? Because the trigger don't have to stop me unless you don't have the capacity to go through it with me. It don't have to stop us.
We're so much alike. I got a food trigger.
Yeah, what you got?
My food trigger. If we go to McDonald's, and we order food, and they put the food in the bag,
and
I
know,
and I hand you the bag, and you go to eating the French fries out the bag. That sets me. I don't know why. It's like 0 to 100 real quick. It's like, get your hand on that. You know. I don't know why that said. I don't know what it happened as a kid. I don't know what happened to me, but it really, like, I know people probably look at me like, that man crazy.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious. That's just something I do not like. I do not. It makes me feel like it's selfish. This, and I'm gonna be honest, as a man, I learned this a long time ago. Even with that, it will show you. It'll be a trigger in one way, but it'll show you where a woman is and how she sees you. If you're driving, she gets the food, and you put the cup in the cup holder. Does she take the straw and put it in your cup for you? Yeah. Does she unwrap that sandwich? Does she make eating now easy for you? Right. I'm giving this is pro tips.
You're giving game now.
This is good pro tips. You will see how a woman feels about you. Go through a drive-through and order that food and give her the bag, and see how she moves with that bag, and it will tell the story of how she feels about you.
Now, what I will tell you is this, and we're going to disagree here. We've disagreed about this offline and off camera. But I think there's a huge difference between triggers and reminders. Yeah. I think triggers take you to a space where the recovery takes a little longer. I think reminders stop you from making the same mistake again, or could stop you from making the same mistake again. Like when you see a thing, I think being reminded of either how it didn't work or where it caused failure in your life is different than being triggered. Because for me, I associate triggers with, if I don't stop this now, it could turn into trauma. You see what I'm saying? And so for me, I'm learning to differentiate between the two, because a trigger could take me out of my character, but a reminder could keep me in alignment. That was good. You looked at me like I don't know where he's going, but I landed somewhere on that one.
The plane was up there. I didn't know where it was going. But
triggers will take me out of my character, but reminders is what keep me in alignment. You know what I mean? And so I think it's healthy to say, hey, I got these checkpoints, I got these reminders, and I'm not going to let this get me again. But triggers, again, I pray for people that have triggers, because I'm telling you, there's so much trauma that's attached to those.
You still didn't answer my question.
What's the question, man of God?
How many red flags, or how many reminders, or how many, whatever you want to say, so deep, Gandhi. Reminders, red flags, whatever you want to call them. How many do you have when you should say, okay, hey, I got it. Let me back out, because what you literally had this conversation the other day. It's like, hey, I know you. Yeah. As soon as you don't do that. Yeah. And so my question is, at what point can I? If you're saying don't do it off the first one, if I'm telling you that first one's a big one, you saying don't do it then? You saying I need to wait to 4 or 5? 6, 7?
So this is the piece that I said what I said about triggers versus reminders, because which one is going to take you out of your character? I think if it's something that's going to take you out of your character and you're going to have an out of body experience, then I think you did that early.
The trigger ain't even going to. My character's too strong now, so nothing's going to take me out of character. It's just going. I don't even want the memory. I don't. You call a reminder. I don't want nothing that reminds me of what I went through. Yeah. I don't want nothing that reminds me of what hurt me. Yeah. I don't go. I just don't. That's maybe.
I think for your personality, I mean, I think you can handle 2 triggers.
2 triggers.
Yeah, because the first trigger, they probably don't even know that I'm saying it because they probably don't even know they're triggering you.
Okay, so I'm gonna give 2.5 triggers.
Yeah, that's gonna be my. Because I think that matters. I think a person needs to know. I mean, again, if it's a trigger that you never communicated, I don't think it counts.
Yeah. But I think you got. That's good. I agree with you. I agree with you there. If you didn't communicate,
if you didn't communicate, it don't count.
And what I was going to say, adding to that, was just a lot of this can be. I don't want to say negated, but a lot of this can be addressed if we just have the conversation and we just have the communication. Yeah. Like, hey, I'm triggered. That trigger that reminded me. That kind of, you made my mind go somewhere. Yeah, go. And I need to explain, because here's the thing: you got to have these conversations. Because you got to know how to approach a person. If you don't know what triggers them, what sets them off, what abuse they've went through, where they've been, you don't know how to deal with them. Yeah. And so if you're dealing with a woman that was in I'm just talking this because some men, we talk strong, we talk loud, we talk strong. I talk strong and I talk loud, and it's not even in an aggressive yelling or whatever. I'm just big and tall and loud, and I just talk. That's how I talk. I have to know if I'm dealing with someone that has a trauma or a trigger of some kind of violence in a relationship. I cannot talk loud when addressing a situation or addressing her with something, because it's now going to trigger her. But the only way we know that is through what, Rob? Communication.
But remember, we talked earlier. That's why I said you got to tell me. I have the capacity to learn how we got here. That's the biggest, and we talk about that in almost every episode. Capacity and availability. Because half of the reason why I don't have the capacity for it is because I'm having the availability. And now my patience or my tolerance is short and my capacity is stricken. You know what I'm saying? When you really are trying to let me know how we got there, and if I don't get your how, I'll never know how to deal with you. And I'll never deal with you according to knowledge. That's Bible. You got to know people that labor among you. You got to deal with them according to knowledge. You'll never be able to do that if you don't know their how. You know what I'm saying? You'll never be able to help someone or even witness someone's breakthrough if you don't know what they've been through. Like, that's just straight up.
You'll never witness their breakthrough.
Oh, Rabbi.
If you don't know what they've been through. This man making shirts. We're trying to pod and he's making T-shirts.
No, for real, man. Like, and so I'm at a space now where I'm so sensitive, I'm so soft. I want you to know how I want you to have enough empathy to know how I got to where I am. The failures and the successes. I got here somehow. You know what I mean? And don't let me stay there.
I knew I was doing better when somebody asked me, how did I get here? Or why am I like this? I'm like, hey, because I messed up. Yeah, I failed. You know, I did this. Because at a certain point, you'll try and blame it on everybody else, or you'll try to deflect. But when you can actually say, hey, I got here because of some stuff I did. I'm triggered because of stuff I did to myself. Now, that's the craziest one. When you triggered because of some mess you did to some mess you caused, now triggers you, now sets you off. That's when you know. That's when you know you off. You
triggers. Man, I'm going somewhere. Triggers have had me have unnecessary fights with myself. Triggers have had me have unnecessary fights with myself. Things that I'm scared to talk about in my vulnerability. You know, things that I'm scared to talk about because of rejection have left me having fights, unnecessary fights. That is too, all by myself. I'm the only one in the relationship.
And when you fight.
You always win, and that's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? And so, but like, I'm thinking about the times I've been triggered, and the person that triggered me didn't even know.
Didn't even know it.
God, residency all in my real estate, all in my mind.
You wrestling all night long, and they sleep.
They triggered. And so my thing is I can't express it enough. I'm where I'm at. I hope you want to communicate, because I'm telling you about my triggers.
Oh, and Rob wants to communicate.
I'm going to tell you where I'm at, and I'm still. I think I'm available to be in union or in a relationship. I just want you to know how I got here. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No, have value for how I got here.
Yeah, I think that's respectable. Yeah. I think that's a conversation, like you said. You got to have it up front. This is where I am. This is how I got here. This is what I need from you moving forward. Yeah. This is how we help each other. This is how we help keep the pace, keep me calm, keep my mind intact. I think it'll help heal the relationship.
Bro, I don't want to be triggered no more.
Me either, Doc.
Reminders are enough. I'm done.
I think that's good.
Hey, yo, for more content just like this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to Everything Give Me a Second on this YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the links below to watch other videos that are just like this.